And how you doing? I'm Ernesto Garcia, your Communications, Marketing, and Governmental Affairs Director here at the Greater El Paso Association of Realtors, and we're glad that you're able to join us today for another edition of Get Going with GEPAR. September is Realtor Safety Month, and we have a very special guest that you can see on the screen right now. We'll be bringing him on in just a few moments, but first things first, let's take care of a little house cleaning that needs to be done so you know what is happening. One of the things that is coming up is our Realtor Safety Self-Defense class, taught by Master Sensei Eli Guzman of Guzman Martial Arts. That's going to be happening on the 27th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. here at GEPAR. DOMA is presenting this along with Women's Council of Realtors. Please make sure to get all the information you need and sign up. You'll get the details soon on our links that will be through our newsletter and through our website at elpasotx.com. And also a reminder that Friday, October 28th at the Starlight Event Center from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. It's the 2022 annual membership meeting. It's a free breakfast and lunch for members, and you want to come out. Riding with the Brand is this year's theme, and we hope to see you out there as well. So as we get going with GEPAR, we're going to bring in our guest now, and we're very happy to have him, and he's made some time for us today on this very important month. As always, we appreciate when we can have our guests that can get out there, and he's all the way in Arkansas. Carl Carter Jr. is a realtor and founder of the Beverly Carter Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to improving agent safety. His mom, realtor Beverly Carter, lost her life at the hands of a couple posing as clients in 2014. Since his mother's passing, Carl has dedicated as much time as possible to spreading the message of safety. He was recently appointed as a delegate to the National Safety Council, where he advocates for the safety of lone workers. He has a master's and bachelor of business administration degree from the University of Arkansas in Little Rock, and an executive master's public service from the Clinton School of Public Service. Carl, thank you so much for joining us today and being here with us. My first question is talking about Realtor Safety Month and why it's important for new or experienced realtors to always be alert and aware of their surroundings.
Absolutely, and so honored to be with you today. And as you mentioned, it is Realtor Safety Month, but coincidentally and tragically, it is also the anniversary of the kidnapping and murder of my sweet mom, Beverly Carter. My mom was a realtor here where I live in the Little Rock, Arkansas area. And in September of 2014, a married couple that perceived my mom to be wildly rich simply because she was in this profession. And they devised a plan to deceive my mom into believing that they were buyers interested in purchasing a property. And it was when they got my mom to a showing that they kidnapped her with the intent of holding her for ransom. And when their plan fell apart, unfortunately, they didn't decide to just let my sweet mom go, but they tragically ended her life. And it's been since that time that I just focus as much time and effort as I possibly can to raise awareness and provide education on ways to stay safe in this industry that we all love.
Carl, I always appreciate when you tell that story. I know it's very hard, and it's a very tough anniversary to have to even call it that. I mean, it's a tragedy as it happened, but I've got to ask Carl, when a realtor or with the dedication you put into this foundation, what are some of the impacts that have been made since it has started?
I put so much of it, I credit to my sweet mom. I think that people relate to my mom. They see themselves and how they conduct their business in many of the decisions that my mom made in working with these clients. Most agents, the majority across the country are females, are around my mom's age at the time of her kidnapping. And so I think just for so many reasons, it was a big wake-up call to the industry. And something that I hear often, and honestly, I think it's such a legacy to my mom, that when people say, I thought of Beverly, or I thought of your mom, I thought of her story, and therefore I made a different decision. I felt empowered whenever my gut instinct was telling me to not go alone or not to work with someone. And I think that, that saved my life. And we've seen, of course, huge advances in technology, and, we don't have to be as mindful, about all the manual processes, related to safety and sharing our itinerary and, all these things. Now, if we enable the technology, it can do a lot of the work for us. So we've come a long way. Sadly, we still hear of incidences occurring. I sadly hear far too often of crimes against workers in our industry, but so we still have work to do, but we have certainly come a long way.
Carl, I put up the website here, the Beverly Carter Foundation, and beverlycarterfoundation.org. That's the website. This is what you're going to look at. We have some great resources on here and a lot of great things that are important. One of the things that I noticed is that you put out some newsletter parts and video newsletters as well. You even talk about an app that you use when you go running. And some of these, like you said, using technology makes a big difference in helping out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyone is always, encouraged and welcome to check out our website. Everything there is for the taking. So if something you think is helpful for you to pull down and help raise awareness in your office, at your association level, whatever it may be, as you see there on the screen, that safety resources, there are just so many things, even just under that, the great one-pagers on very specific topics, and you can have a very focused conversation related to safety. And to your point, yes, I am, and we all are, right? We're all so busy, and we don't want to have to think about something else to do. Or in my case, it can be even tough to remember to, hit a button or hit a timer. So as many ways as I can to automate, and quite frankly, not have to think about something else. I like it. Just keep it flowing in the background, make sure that I'm keeping things secure, and ensuring that only those that I trust and that I love can see, my GPS location at all times, and that I have, the settings. We all have these devices, and that these $1,000 devices that we carry around, and my goodness, it just takes a little bit of time. But there are so many safety features that are already built into what you've already paid for. So, that's always the first thing when I talk to people about safety is don't go buy the newest gadget, and, just start with what you have, enable what you have, and you might find that you have more functionality there than you even knew.
Carl, I got to ask this question. When a realtor or anyone makes a donation to the foundation, how does that donation help? Where does it go to?
So great question. So we conduct classes, virtually and in person all across the country. We started in 2017, and since that time, we are almost at the 500 class mark. So that'll be a great milestone for us. So when donations are made, financial donations are made to the foundation, it really goes to us having a presence at industry events such as, the National Association of Realtors annual conference. We like to have it's a big investment, but having a physical presence, even at just that one conference, and having such meaningful conversations with agents as they come up to the booth and they see my mom, on the backdrop, and they're like, "Who is that? What is this about? What are you selling?" And it's like, actually not here to sell a thing at all. This is just to raise awareness, and so that having that presence at industry events and conducting training. We do a number of things, such as we create open house safety kits, and so we're able to build these boxes of the safety kits and get them out, and then of course just keeping the lights on for a nonprofit when we have things like liability insurance and printing cost and accounting cost, but But all of us here at the nonprofit are volunteers. And so whenever you give to this cause, you are directly impacting safety and education within this industry.
For those watching, you can see on the screen right there, we put the link that's right there. You can find it, the donate button at the beverlycarterfoundation.org. $35. I tell you what do you find these days that doesn't cost more than that? This is an investment. This helps. This keeps the foundation. And I would certainly hope we get to see you at the convention because, like you said, a backdrop's there. Everyone comes by and then they realize they need to take that time. And like you said, just these tips, everything. This website is very informational, but it costs money to keep it going. That's why a donation really helps out. And I mean, this is a fee that really goes to not only protecting you, but your fellow realtors. Am I correct?
Absolutely. And, we are a unique industry in so many ways, but, one being that, as independent contractors, it really is up for us to, create in many ways our own personal safety strategy and policies. And so we want to be a resource to you to make that an easy process. And so you don't feel alone or that you're having to, recreate or reinvent the wheel. We have a number of things. And of course, any of us are always happy to jump on a call to provide, just advice and a little bit of consulting about what we've seen work well within, other parts of the country, and sometimes some pitfalls to try to avoid of well-intended, agencies trying to raise awareness. But there's a line, right? So we put our consistent processes in place as to not discriminate against anyone, and we do it each and every time, and it goes a long way in keeping us and those that we work with safe.
Well, I got to ask, what are some of those tips that you give to realtors when you get a chance to speak with them? You see them one-on-one in person, you go do talks. What are the biggest things that you tell them, the tips that you give them, like you were just talking about?
There's so many things, but, I always start with, the things that would have made such an impact that I believe on the outcome in my sweet mom situation. And it comes across so simple, but we all know that this gets more complex when we have to have these conversations that can get so awkward. And that is, I firmly believe that this couple would have moved on. They would not have continued to pursue my mom if their anonymity had been taken from them prior to the showing that day. They went through all of these steps to try to keep their true identity hid. But from the start, if we just are very consistent in ensuring that we get the identification of those that we are, about to work with and work for, ensuring that we have the proof of funds that, they are able to purchase a property. Again, it does sound so simple, and, we should be doing that each and every time, and absolutely we should. But when I talk to agents and have very real conversations about the day-to-day and about how fast-paced this industry is and how we don't want to lose, leads, or we don't want to offend. And, it becomes a very meaningful dialogue, a very real dialogue about ways that we can request and insist upon identification and proof of funds, so that it's not as putting people on on the defense or getting offended by the fact that we're asking for it. So that's a great starting point. And then I think from there, then we can certainly talk about the importance of building not only within your family, but your trusted colleagues in your office and your brokerage, that a network of accountability. And, I always go back to that tech working for us that, enables communication, location, access to calendars, knowing where each other, which properties will be showing that day. You can really get, some really good systems built. And once they're built, it's just a matter of, staying consistent, continuing to talk about them. But simply, everyone. I hope that you will really look at your business processes and really think about, each and every time as you, receive, especially new buyer leads, what are those steps that you're doing? Are you getting that identification and insisting upon a pre-showing buyer consultation in a public place? And it would go so far, not only for situations like my mom, but so many others. And of course, there's also that added benefit beyond safety, and that, ensuring that you are actually working with someone that's serious about purchasing a home.
I got one last question for you, and this deals with looking to the future. As the Beverly Carter Foundation continues to grow, what are your goals for the foundation in years to come, and what do you picture your 4-year, 5-year plan to look like?
The ultimate mission, right, is that we would be able to just, wave the flag and say, mission accomplished. We are not hearing of any victimization occurring within our industry, but also being realistic. So then how do, if that is an unattainable goal, how can we get as close to that as possible? And I think that we have so many opportunities within this industry to better communicate risk and associated with the industry and specific properties. So, I think that there can be really meaningful activities just with all of the MLSs coming together and coming up with certain safety fields that are not publicly available information. They're agent only, to, give heads up on, is this kind of a spotty cell phone, service area, or is the home vacant? Different types of identifiers, and that, which sounds so simple, I think could have, big change. I would love, and so you get me kind of my wish list. I would love to see our industry take a stand and say that it is unethical, it is inappropriate, and an agent should never walk someone through a home that they do not know exactly who that person is, that they have that proof, they have it on file of who that person is. Because quite frankly, right, not only for the safety of the agent, but also just the safety of the homeowner. Most people, as I talk to them and they're, selling their home, they are just, the concept of a complete stranger that has not in any way been verified, their identity is terrifying, and understandably. And so, so it goes. I think that we have opportunities, and I think that our industry should be doing a better job, even though we are independent contractors by and large, of reporting these crimes. And so that we know as an industry across the country, what are the things that are happening to agents, so that we can band together instead of, running behind these incidences that we only learn of if it's picked up, if it's reported, one, and then two, if it's picked up by the media cycle. So, and, we run behind with kind of this, bucket of water on the fire approach. And I'd like to see us band together in a mighty way, in a different way for an industry to keep each other safe.
Carl, I'm just grateful that we have your time to come out here and talk with us and our realtors here in the El Paso area. I'd love to have, visits coming down. I know that is going to be looking up as well. You want to explain a little bit about that and talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So very much looking forward to. I've actually never been to the El Paso area, so it's going to be a great trip all around. Looking forward to meeting everyone. And at that session, I will. We're going to take my mom's story. I mean, from the moment she heard from this couple, and even before, kind of peeling back. The evidence that was found and why she was targeted, and that the type of searching that this couple did online to try to learn more about my mom, and then all the way through, the initial contact, through the showing and beyond. And just, it's such a teachable story. And, we just break down every decision point. And it's my hope that, agents that are there will really think about, the things that they do every day. Think about ways they can enhance, maybe shake off a little bit of complacency. And then it's certainly my hope that every single person will walk out of that room feeling more empowered, to not only, have better business processes, but also just empowered to trust, just the God-given instincts that we have inside of us.
There's still tickets available for the Realtor Rally this year. Your face is right there, Carl, on our website, along with another very special guest, all brought to you by friends over at GECU. And it's going to be at the Convention Center on the 23rd. That's a Friday. We look forward to having you here, and I look forward to getting to meet you in person. But I wanted to make sure that we put the focus on the foundation for this month first, and then obviously the fact that you're going to be here, we wanted to make that second. So we want to thank you for being a part of our Realtor Rally this year, and still plenty of time to get tickets. There it is, the website right there at elpasotx.com. That's elpasotx.com. And I think one thing you're going to like here is the green chili and the Mexican food that you're not going to get anywhere else. I promise you that. All right, Carl?
Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it. Carl Carter Jr. is our guest. And as always, if you have a suggestion for any guest or any features that we need to have, please email me at egarcia@excitermedia.com. I want to add this one more time. An important realtor safety self-defense class. I'm sure, Carl, you would like to see how this goes. And we have a great, we got a 7th degree black belt coming in to come show a lot of important tips. So it's a free event for everyone. Lunch is included. This is on September 27th, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. here at GEPAR. And as always, we appreciate your time watching or listening here on Get Going with GEPAR. We'll be back again